Hello, this is Tigress Nisha and welcome to No Man's Sky. This is video 4 in my little series for tips, tricks, strategies, and just some overall advice that I have about the game itself. So in this video, I wanted to talk about farming and your freighter. I wanted to get into that in my second video, but couldn't get into that then, so we'll be able to talk about it now. Okay, so as far as farming, we can just jump right into that. So farming can be used mostly to be able to grow plants so that you can take those, craft those into different items that you can sell, or you can use it to craft with other items to make something even more expensive. All right, so that you can make units. Sometimes you can use it to craft stuff for upgrades and things like that. All right, so so let's go into it here. First thing you're going to need are all of the blueprints for not only for the plants, but you're going to need blueprints for the if you're going to use that, the hydroponic trays, and I would also suggest getting the biodome. Okay, so if you're in here, we go to catalog, we can go to crafted products. And so you're going to need, for all of the different plants from here all the way down to here, you're going to need those guys. All right, and you can get the blueprints for these in either the anomaly at the construction research station, or you can get it when you are at the manufacturing facility and you have to pick an answer to the question. As the reward, you can either get units, nanites, or you can learn recipes. You go into learn recipes and you can pick which blueprint you get. Okay, now that's just for the plants themselves. You're going to also want you're going to also want to get from the construction research station in the anomaly the hydroponic trays. Alright, so you're going to want those. You're also going to want, let's see, for the construction part, you're also going to want that biodome, because that's going to be, in my opinion, really important. It's really great and easy to use. It's just a matter of having the resources to do it. Okay, so that's the first thing. Make sure you have all the blueprints. Next thing, we want to collect the materials to be able to create a new plant. Okay, so let's say we want to grow selenium. Okay, and this particular planet, selenium is you need to go to a planet that's the dominant plant, and in this case it is. Okay, and if we look back one more time in the catalog and looked at crafted products, to make a solar vine, which makes selenium, you will need selenium and phosphorus. So we need to collect the two. All right. So now, as far as collecting the selenium, it's really simple. It's just a matter of finding this cluster of selenium, and you just run up to this and collect it. Okay, and the way you know that it's something that you can collect is it's going to glow, just like it is against. If you look at the rest of the terrain, it's not really glowing, but these are. So that's a great way to see them. Okay, and so in order to find them, okay, you can use two different methods. Of course, you can use your visor to find more solar vines. So you just scan around, and in this case there's some more solar vine over there. Okay, so about 440 units away. Okay, so you can use your visor to find it, or what I like to do is fly around at night. And the reason why I fly around at night is because as you can see, certain plants glow. So we're talking about gamma root, star bulb, cactus flesh, selenium, all those different kinds of plants, they actually glow at night. So it makes it really easy to pick out the solar vine at night as you fly around. So there we go already, we found some. And if you keep just flying around, you'll start to find more solar vine. Alright, we have some right there. Alright, we found some more there. Alright, so it's just an easy way to get around your planet and find that when you cannot find it with your visor. There we go, there's more there. There is more there. So it just makes it really easy as you fly around the planet to find it. Okay? So that's the next thing. Alright, so once you've gathered your materials, now I happen to have phosphorus because I have a phosphorus extractor farm. So I already have some phosphorus on me from that farm. Okay? The next thing is setting up a base to be able to grow everything. So I'm going to fly over to a base that I already have set up here for my extractor. Actually, this I believe this is where my phosphorus base is. So we're just gonna come here. Alright. So yeah, so this is my actually this is my sulfurine base for the sulfurine gas. Okay, so let's say I decide to pick this planet to make my base. Okay, one of the things, of course, that you're going to want to make sure is that you have electricity. Okay, if possible, find an electrical hotspot. It just makes things so much easier when you're setting up a base, because a base is just so much bigger and puts more demand on what kind of electricity you will need, and you just don't want to have to worry about running out and putting a bunch of solar panels. But in this case, since it's just demoing everything, I just wanted to show you how to set up a quick base and start your farming. Okay, so like I said, I'm probably going to use biodomes. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to probably do is just make a structure here, and we're just going to go with one of the large structures. Okay, a recommendation I do have is try to build off the ground, just so that you don't have the ground growing back into your building. Okay, so I'm just going to build off ground here. Alright, and let's put a door on that. Alright, I don't have my gold right now, that's okay. Alright, so we're just going to build a real simple. Alright, make sure we can get in there. Alright, so now that you're in, alright, so now we're going to add our, now if you like, you could put in your hydroponic trays right inside. So if I wanted to, let's see this, because I hardly do this, but if I wanted to, I could fit in, I need metal plating, so let's make some metal plating. Alright, so let's just make some plating here. Alright, so I can just hook my hydroponic trays right into the wall there. Alright, now as you can see, it's asking for some sort of electricity. Alright, and we'll get to that in a second. Alright, so you can put your hydroponic trays there, and you can go ahead and add your plants. So if I say I want to add my solar vine in here, I can just add those plants in. Alright, and right now it's just the 2 plants that I'm going to add there. Alright, now I actually like to do the biodomes, so I'm going to add a biodome right to the top of the structure. Alright, and let's see, so we're gonna build, it's storming out there anyway, so we're gonna build a ladder to be able to get up to the biodome. Alright, so now you have your biodome here. The nice thing about this is they just added this not that long ago, is that you could harvest 1 plant at a time, or if you're in a biodome, you can get all your plants at one time. Okay? So let's see. So I want to farm solar vine. So now I could just go around and plant everything, okay, to each of those different slots. Alright. You know, so I mean, so you get the hang of it right there, just going around planting everything and plant all of them there. Now again, everyone's asking for electricity. So like I said, if you can find a hotspot, please use it. Otherwise, you can set up solar panels. So I would just set up some solar panels here. Let's see, do I have any gold? I do not. So what I'm going to do is I already have some solar panels over there, so I'm just going to connect to my solar panels over there, and that should give me some electricity. So let's use the wiring. Okay, and I'm just gonna, it's gonna be kind of crude, but let's just run over here to the batteries. Alright, and we're just gonna connect right up to that guy. And so now I'm getting electricity to my setup here. As you can see, everything looks blue now. Okay, so my hydroponic tray now has electricity, and my biodome does too. Alright, so now it's just a matter of waiting for the plants to grow, and then once they get mature, and you come in here and say harvest all plants, and you will get the selenium or whatever it is that you planted in there. Okay, so and that's really all there is to it when it comes to farming. Nothing too wild and crazy. It's just a matter of how your farm is set up. I was going to take you to one of my farms just to give you my setup, and this is for my selenium and frostwort farm. Okay, something to remember: each plant has its own grow time, and it's real time. So if it says it's going to take 4 hours, it's going to take 4 real-time hours to grow. Okay, As I said, each plant has different grow times. I know star bulb is every 4 hours. Selenium and cactus flesh take, I think, the longest, and they're about every 16 hours. Frostwort, which is the fastest, grows once an hour. So you have to set up your bases and set everything up in a way that you're harvesting everything at the right time to be able to craft whatever it is you want to craft. Okay, so for example, for selenium, if you are trying to harvest a lot of that all day long as you play, you can stagger it. So basically, you would go and you would plant some new selenium right now, and then let's say you wait 4 hours, plant some more, wait another 4 hours, plant some more, and so on and so forth. So then every 4 hours you are getting plants to harvest instead of waiting every 16 hours. Okay, I tend to just wait the 16 hours because I kind of harvest once a day. So that's good enough for me. All right, so this is my farm right here. Let's see, let's go into camera mode, and you can see how this guy is all set up. Okay, on the left hand side are going to be your frostwort, and on the right hand side is going to be the selenium. If you notice, we have the two colors, one's blue, one's orange. I actually picked this up from another player to color code the different biodomes to know what you're growing in it, so you could see it real easy. I know on this side it's easy enough that it's going to be selenium. Okay, so if I come in here, all right, I also color coded the doors, so when I'm in here I know easily, oh, this is going to be my selenium, and over here it's blue to tell me that it is frostwort. Okay, so and some folks have a bit more elaborate setups, but this works well for me. Okay, so again, all you have to do is come in here and you say harvest all plants, and as you can see, just from this one room I got 1,000 selenium, a little bit over 1,000. Okay, and so you would just run around and harvest all of your different plants. Okay, and so that's really all there is to it when it comes to farming. One thing you can do to find out how much longer there is in the cycle for something to grow is you just use your visor and point it at the plant. If you notice on the side where it has primary element, you'll see growing time, so that tells you how much time is left before it's going to be mature for you to harvest. All right, so that's farming. Again, not too bad. It's just a matter of the setup, getting all your materials, and finding just the right planet that you would like to put your farm on. Okay, and because you use the biodomes, you can actually put it anywhere. One thing I will mention is that depending on the plant and the planet, you can plant certain plants that are native to that planet outside. So you wouldn't need a biodome, you would need a hydroponic tray. The only drawback to that is that you have to harvest them one at a time instead of all at one time. But if you, for whatever reason, don't have the biodome yet, you don't have the hydroponic trays, you can simply plant them outside and go from there. All right, So that's just another method if you'd like to be able to use. Now on this particular base, I do have an electrical hotspot that's over the mountains over here. You can see the wiring go up a little bit, but this is what I have right here. All right. So as far as tying everything together for refining, extracting, and farming, for refining, extracting, and farming, you can use them all together to get yourself in a place where you're not actually going out and trying to find all the materials, because either the materials are being farmed or they're being extracted, or you use some sort of method to refine them. Okay, I'm at a point in my game right here now that I rarely use my terrain manipulator and I rarely use my mining laser, because I can refine everything to make what I need. Okay, and you can use the refiner actually to help you with farming. Okay, and what I mean by that is that for example, I can use the medium refiner and I can make more selenium. The way I do that is I use selenium and phosphorus in the medium refiner, so the two plates, the medium or the large, and when you refine them together, it makes more selenium. It makes twice the selenium. So if for some reason I can't harvest right now, I can use the refiner to make more materials for me to craft with. Okay, now I'm doing all of the extracting and all of the farming mostly to keep two things: to keep materials on myself for charging, different crafting and building and whatnot, and then I use the other ones again to do some crafting for stuff to sell. Okay, and in this case, my primary means, besides my activated indium farm, is going to be making quantum processors. Okay, as you can see, they're worth 4.4 million a piece. There are things that are worth more than 4.4. For example, stasis devices. I think those are worth about 15 million a piece. But I had to balance, how much I want to craft and how much what I'm crafting is worth. And I think sitting right on the quantum processors works well for me. Okay, and so what you do right here is that now I got the sulfurane and the nitrogen and the radon from my gas extractors, so I'm using my extractors to do that. And then I have my condensed carbon, and I use my refiner to make sure that I keep enough condensed carbon on myself to craft what I want to. And then of course I use my farming to make my main ingredients on the other side. So now that I have everything ready to go, now I can start crafting what I want. So right now I have to start with these guys. All right. So we're just going to do 5 for each thing. Okay. I'm also going to need some heat capacitors, some polyfiber. Okay. Now the polyfiber and heat capacitor is going to make circuit boards. Okay, so we need that on one side. Now I'm going to use these guys that I just crafted to make a superconductor. So first I have to make that semiconductor, and then now I can make my superconductor. Okay, and then you combine these two to make your quantum processors. Okay, and right there, that is worth 22 million, and that's only 5. Okay, and that is a whole stack, and your cargo is going to be 10. So right here is just 7, and we're already up to 30 million. Okay, so as you saw, that didn't take a lot of crafting, you know, a little bit of crafting, a few steps, but it wasn't, you know, you got to craft, you know, to 4 or 5 different levels just to get something. Maybe I'm being lazy, but you know, I think quantum processes works out well for me. Okay, so that is farming, and as I said, that tells you how the farming, extracting, and refining all tie together right here. Okay, and then of course, once you have quantum processors, you take them off to a space station, sell them off, and you'll make a good chunk of change. All right, so that's going to be farming. All right, so now let's get into your freighter. Okay, I know a lot of players sometimes are like, well, what do I need a freighter for? What's the purpose of it? Why do I need it? Why do I care? Type of thing. So let's talk a little bit about your freighter and what its usefulness is. Okay, so I just called my freighter up into this system. So now I'm just going to fly right up to it. Don't run into it. Here we go. Alright, there we go. There's the front of it. So your freighter, you can use your freighter for a few different things. Okay, so for your freighter, you can have basically a traveling base with you. You can use your freighter for warping, and I believe you can also warp someone that's in your freighter to another system. You have missions that you can do with your freighter that will return different components and units to you. Okay, and it will house all of your ships. So right now I have a few different ships right here. These guys on this side, and these guys on this side. Okay, and then also if you look out here, visiting NPC ships will stop by, so you can also get different ships to come in. So if you're in a wealthy system and you're looking for an S-class or an A-class or even an exotic, you can set up your freighter and wait for NPCs to fly into your freighter, you know, without having to necessarily wait at a trading post or at a space station. Okay, so those are some of the different uses of your freighter. All right, it basically goes out and does work for you. Okay, and your freighter is made up of a fleet of smaller smaller starships, I would say. And what you would do is you take those guys and you send them all out on different missions. Okay, so to do that, the first thing you're going to need is to build a command center. So we're going to go back here, and this is where you can start to build your base out. I have a few things here, not a lot yet, but I do have my command centers. You can create multiple command centers, so basically for every one command center you can send one fleet out on a mission. So if you have 3 command centers, you can send out 3 fleets for 3 different missions. Okay, so in your command center, once the fleet comes back from its mission, you have to come in here and basically they'll brief you on what happened during the mission. So Right here it tells you, you know, how many light years they were away and what they got. So in this case, I got 328,000 units, 5 get relics, more units, more Gagnip, Viking effigies, more units. So, you know, so if you're starting in the game and you're going on these different missions, just the units alone are worth it, you know, because right there is pretty much $1 million just for one mission. Okay, so and then I can come in here and I can get debriefed about another fleet. All right, and I'm going to show you how to actually start those missions. Okay, here I got a lot of supplies, more you know, more units and whatnot, and there you go. All right, so I'll come back in here, but let me just show you how to get to missions. All right, so your main area here, so you're going to come to this guy. This is your expeditions, they're called. Okay, so if you talk to him, you're going to find some potential expeditions. Okay, and right now I have someone out on this one, but there are 4 left that I can send someone out on a different mission for. Okay, so for example, let's say I want to do a balanced expedition. Some of them are more focused on things than others, but in this case it's kind of balanced. It's a little bit of everything. Okay, so here you have to assign which ships you want to go on that mission. Okay, so you click on that, and now I can take a look and say, hey, I want to send this S-class. Okay, I want to send this B-class for combat. I want to send this guy for, because there's some industry, and then I want to send this guy for trade. Okay, so a balance. All right, so I've got those guys, and if you look, they have some ratings. Okay, the difficulty is only a 1, but my fleet rating is 5. So you want to have a fleet rating equal to or more than the difficulty rating, and that keeps down some of your ships possibly being damaged during the expedition. Okay, and then what you do is then you have to get fuel here. So 450 was that tons. Okay, so I can come in here and craft some more. Okay, so I can craft a good chunk of that. All right, so now so now I can select those guys again and send them out on this mission. So let's go select them again. All right, and there we go. All right, and also you have some upgrade modules, and these are temporary little modules that can be used to help you in the game. So in this case, +10 for exploration. Okay, but they only last one expedition. Okay, and then I'm going to let that go, and then now they're off on an expedition, and now that'll work while I go and do other tasks. Okay, now also at this terminal you can warp. So it looks just like the regular galaxy map, and you can warp wherever you want as long as it's in the warp range for that freighter. Okay, which depends on the upgrades that you have. Okay, so I could warp anywhere. Okay. All right. And then also you have your terminal to do research, and these are just for upgrades. Okay. For your freighter. Okay. You're going to want that matter beam as soon as you possibly can, because that way you can keep stuff in your freighter and get it back and forth easy without being on your freighter. Otherwise you have to be on your freighter itself. Okay. Now if you look in the top left hand corner, you'll see salvage frigate modules. Okay. Those are what you're going to need in order to unlock these actual upgrades themselves. So I would need one for here to open that guy, and then I would also need one here. Okay. And the way to get those salvage frigate modules are actually during expeditions, but also you get them by attacking other freighters. And when you attack the freighter, if you aim at it, you'll actually see, it'll tell you if it's magnetized ferrite, it'll tell you if it's cobalt, it'll tell you whatever, but you'll actually see, it'll say salvage frigate modules, and you just shoot it and you'll receive that guy. So you're going to need to do that to get your upgrades. All right. So so you have some other things, of course, you can do here and build out, you know, like I said, you can build out almost a base in here. You can do hydroponics in here if you want. You can grow, you can grow different hydroponics in here. Okay. I have storage. These are actually storage containers, and these are the same storage containers that are actually on my planet, on my main base. Okay. So and so I believe I have all of my storage in here, almost all of it. Okay. And so that's just, you know, one of the things that you can do. If you look down in here, you'll see the freighter parts. You'll see that fleet command center. I could create more if I wanted to. I can create the different rooms, you know, up and down the stairs and all kinds of different pieces, just like you were in a regular, just like if you were in a regular base. Okay. And you can place different parts down. You have your storage units. This stuff is decoration. You have your portable items that you can leave here, and then of course some of your general items. Okay. So so that's, you know, so that's what you can do with your freighter. I feel like I'm leaving a couple things out, but those are the main things that you can do with your freighter. Again, it's just very convenient to be able to let the process run as far as the expeditions, and then come back later on. And those also are real time. So when it says it's going to take 9 hours, that's real time 9 hours. Okay. So so I think that's all I have for today. As always, please leave your comments and feedback in the comments section, and if I left anything out, let me know. And of course, you know, hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was helpful to you. Again, take what you need, incorporate it into your game, and just have fun. All right. So you have a good one, and once again, happy travels.